Good afternoon, live from Toronto on the GBKM network, and welcome to the Chat Up Show, the show where we catch you up with the chat up of our weekly headlines. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloidi, and I hope that you are ready to chat it up with me today. Now, as always, you know you can keep up with the GBKM network 24/7 by listening and watching live at www.gbkm.fm or www.gbkm.tv, where you can also check out any past shows you may have missed, check out our upcoming show schedule, learn a little bit more about our on-air personalities, read up on some breaking news, all of that good stuff. You can also like, share, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. You can also watch and listen live 24/7 on our free app, which is available to download for all iOS and Android devices right now. And yes, it is free, so it won't cost you anything. Best thing about it is you get all the features as on our web station on the app, and you get notified every time we go live. So make sure you download the GBKM app right now so you won't miss any more shows. You can also keep up with us on Facebook and YouTube at GBKM Network, where you can continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the GBKM Network as well. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that, our usual setup is a little bit different. That's because we're paying homage to Emancipation Weekend that's happening this weekend. We're so excited because the JCA has an event available and ready to go for Saturday, July 31st from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. right at 995 Arrow Road, which is right off Highway 400 and Finch Avenue. Now, what is this about? This is the Emancipation Weekend Health and Wellness Clinic, where we will have a group of Black doctors coming together to vaccinate us, give us some COVID-19 information. The vaccines that will be available are the first and second doses of the Moderna and Pfizer, of course, while supplies last. So make sure you come early, first come, first serve. There's also the waiting area that will be there. After you get your first vaccine dose or after you get vaccinated, you have to wait for about 15 to 20 minutes. There will be a waiting area available as well. If you are also looking to get your blood pressure tested or get your blood glucose level tested, this is the time to do it. So come out July 31st, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 995 Arrow Road, which is the Jamaican Canadian Center. So I hope to see you all there. We're going to have so much fun. There's going to be food, live music with steel pan drums. It's going to be a good time. So come out, come all, and let's celebrate Emancipation Weekend and make sure that our community is staying safe and healthy while we're still dealing with this pandemic 17 months later. Now, on that note, we have been surviving a global pandemic for the last 17 months, and for some, this year has been a year of survival mode. We've kind of been in survival mode, just trying to make sure that we make it from month to month, week to week, day to day, as healthy and safe as possible. And now we know that we are actually in our third stage of reopening right here in Ontario, which is really exciting. As you can see on the screen now, we have at least over 80% of adults who have their first dose of the vaccine. We're allowed to congregate indoors. Indoor dining is open, cinemas are opening, gyms, all of that good stuff. All the stuff that we've missed these last 8 months of severe lockdown here in Toronto, we're able to go out and enjoy the sunshine even more. Now, of course, we know that we're staying in this phase for about 21 days, and this is about our second week in this stage 3. We're still waiting on the province to let us know what's going to happen after stage 3, and we're going to keep you updated right here on the Chat Up Show. Now, when we think of the pandemic, we think of a lot of folks, those of us who have been privileged to stay home, who haven't had to be out and in the thick of it, as they say. And for some, it's been a little difficult to find the motivation to, keep going and keep doing what we did before the pandemic. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for a lot of us, but for others, this was a great time to reflect, to reevaluate what we are doing in life, to go after what is our passion, what we've really wanted to do for such a long time. And to represent that today is someone who has not allowed the pandemic to slow her down one bit. From transitioning her Petties and Mimosas talk show, where she interviews notable public figures in the entertainment industry, to then putting it on IG Live for Quarantini and Mimosas, and now officially launching her own cosmetics line, Pretty Smack Cosmetics. Please join me in welcoming to the show, Shannon Mack. Welcome to the show, Shannon.
I must be crazy. I must be insane doing all this during a pandemic.
Honestly, how do you do it?
You know, I feel like I don't really have a choice. Like I made a decision at the beginning of my career, which was umpteen years ago,
Yeah.
and I said that I will not stop you know, I guess until I'm dead. But I made a decision that I was gonna follow through no matter.
Is what a lot of people seem to be, lacking on. It takes a lot of inner strength, would you say, to actually follow through with the goals that you've put for yourself and for your business and your brand. How do you stay?
Absolutely. It takes a lot of meditation, a lot of patience, a lot of prayer, and a lot of faithfulness. You know, like, again, like I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter what that road looks like. You have to make that decision that, hey, I'm gonna follow through no matter what. And this is happening for me, not to me. Like whatever happens, like it's not happening to me, it's happening for me, you know? So I think
Commitment, of course, but faith is a big one, yeah.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So then what inspired you to take the leap to, finally launch your cosmetics brand, Pretty Smack Cosmetics? I
I've
think
always been a little bit of a go-getter, bit of a self-starter, just a little bit. I've always been this way. Like I've had Pretty Smack literally in my back pocket since 2017. Moved as if this is just it just is what it
yeah.
is, you know, like pandemic who, global shutdown what, like it trust me, it was in the back of my mind, but that's not what I ruled with, you know. I created Pretty Smack when I was an Uber driver, and I was literally mad at the world, and I came to, it was literally 2 in the morning where I just came to this there's actually a really long story as to how I even wanted to do a cosmetic line in the beginning, but I'm not even so sure if you have time.
We got a little
But to
time, don't
lead
worry.
you, to lead you, so all right, I'll rewind a little bit. So I actually have an internet radio station called Smack Urban Radio, and I had brought in a young lady to help me pretty much put together like just branding and help me put together this solid like presentation for a potential investor. And during the times that we went through this, we sat and we went through all of this for a whole entire month. And we came to a part where she said, you know, you need to create a proprietary product for Smack Urban Radio, meaning a product that's exclusive to your business, that nobody can recreate, that nobody can copy off of, that it's, if they try, they fail. Like it's like exclusive to your brand. So I looked at the logo, I looked at the lips, and this was back in 2016, by the way,
Wow.
when I was 1 year into Smack Urban Radio already running it. So I looked at the lips, I just looked at everything and just literally sat there in silence for a while. And it just came to me. I'm like, oh my God, I should do like a lip gloss or a chapstick or something to that effect, right? I said, and I told her, I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know that I'm going to do it. Then fast forward, so the idea was out there to do like a smack gloss. That's what it was called. So fast forward a year after that, which was like the end of actually not even a whole year, like 6 months later, I met somebody that literally told me, it was a random conversation, literally told me how to start a lip brand from beginning to end. And it was so incredible. I was like, this is what I mean when I say like to walk by faith and goes on the internet, things will just appear, just magically, So the fact that I met this guy, he was actually an Airbnb guest in my home. That's how I met him.
Oh,
Yes, because when I tell you I was hustling, I was doing Uber, I was driving Lyft, I was doing Uber Eats, I was doing Postmates, I was doing DoorDash, and I was doing Airbnb out of my apartment.
wow.
So by any means necessary, like I said at the beginning, I made a decision
Yep.
that I was going to it's gonna hit. Something's gonna hit. So I'm just gonna keep going. So we had this conversation, and again, so 6 months later, this was into 2017 now, that's when I came up with the name, and I came up with this was in the middle of an Uber drive when I was done, like on a Friday night. I came up with the name, and I even made the logo myself, like
Wow.
literally on an app on the side of the road waiting for my next ride driving Uber. So listen,
Any means
that
necessary.
right. So 2017, I had the idea for Pretty Smack, and then I found, like the people that I was gonna work with to create the formula and stuff like that. And then I sat on it, yeah, for 3 years. Four. What am I talking about? 4 years almost, because I launched Pretty Smack on Valentine's Day
Yeah.
of 2021. So.
Yeah. Wow. It's been a long time coming, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I look and I'm like, damn, I should have did this a long time ago. But then I also realize that timing, to me, the essence of life is about timing. And first of all, I wasn't this smart back in 2017. I wasn't this dedicated and this motivated and this. That's why I was still driving Uber. No shade to anybody that drives Uber, but I wasn't. Things are different now. So the timing is impeccable for me to venture out and do other things
Yeah.
like drop a lip line.
And we love that lip line. Can we talk about like the color picking process for you? Like what was that like?
Girl, that took forever.
Yeah.
That honestly was like part of the hold up. It literally took me, I want to say, probably a year.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it took me a while. But like, and down to like the wire, like 6 months of like going back and forth. But it was really a year or maybe even longer. Like, it just took forever to decide. Oh, the wind is coming in. Sorry.
No worries.
It just took me forever to decide on what colors I wanted, because I wanted to also, market research is super important whenever you're doing something that is like popular. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many different lip lines, there's so many different lip brands. And I wanted to make sure that, yes, I was doing colors similar to them, but I had colors that weren't similar to what everybody else was doing. Because, and because when you look at it, there's a reason why everybody does one thing the same way. So, yeah, reinvent the wheel, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, be creative, but not really. So it took a while for me to decide. Like, I kept going back and forth if I wanted to do these I have two exotic colors. To me, black is exotic because it's not something that people wear every day.
Yeah.
It's called Brave. And then I have another super exotic color called One of a Kind.
Yeah,
It's like
I
this
love
money
it.
green. Yeah, and people really have gravitated. It took a little bit for people to like, all right, warm up to it, but people are warming up to it now. But it
Yeah.
took me a while to decide on those two in particular. And then I have a gold color called Enchanting, which when you take a picture, like the flash or like the sunlight or just whatever light is around you will literally have that lip color like shining.
Wow.
So those three colors were like the main ones that it took me forever to make a decision on. Because
Yeah.
I've been wearing, I don't know, well, you and I just got acquainted recently, but I've been wearing Pretty Smack since 2017. The colors and there's even some colors that I have posted, and people are like, well, what's this color? And I'm like, it's not out
It's
yet.
not
So
out
I have a
yet.
whole, so it took a lot of it took a lot of like going back and forth to
Yeah.
figure out what it is that I really wanted the colors
Yeah.
that I really wanted to launch.
Now I know you mentioned that you were like, pandemic who? Ain't nothing gonna stop my grind. I gotta keep going. But how would you say the pandemic may have helped you with, realizing your dreams and realizing your potential even?
The pandemic definitely taught me that, yo, you can do anything. You are unstoppable. There's nothing that will ever hold you back. You can get through a whole global shutdown.
Yep.
This has probably been the best year. And 2020 and 2021 have probably been the best 2 years of my career.
Yeah.
which is crazy. But
Yeah. Always make that lemonade, right?
I like the lemonade.
Hey, you know what? Exactly. Little Mac Tails plug in there.
You feel me,
I
right?
the launch and getting the business and brand up and running that you had moments of fear or maybe uncertainty, and how are you even able to overcome those to be like, you know what, I'm on the right path, lead by faith and not by sight?
I'm gonna be honest and say never. Feel like when I was first starting out in like this entrepreneurial like space, which was like probably a decade or more ago, that's when I was really doubtful, and that's when I second guessed myself. But now, oh no, we don't have time for that. Like I don't have those moments. I don't have those moments often. Like I can't really tell you the last time I ever really had like a doubtful thought or a doubt. Like I
How do you
no.
do that?
No, it's because like first of all, I feel like yeah, you have to have a certain mindset to be an entrepreneur, to be a boss, to be anything of value or be in any type of like big role or like you have to have a mindset. And that mindset is based on a decision that I said maybe like 20 minutes ago, like you have to make a decision that I'm going to be successful no matter what. Like Pretty Smack is going to be an Ulta, Sephora, Target, all the no matter what. It
Yep.
may not be tomorrow, it may not be today, it may not be next year, but it will be, and I just have to be patient and wait on it until it comes. So I kind of feel like it's about placing value and worth on you as an individual, not even your brand, but you as an individual. Like, what do I deserve? What are the promises of God? Like, what what am I worth? What's my value? And until you can figure out what your worth and your value is, that's when all of the blessings come rolling in.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to settle for anything less than the best, right? You're not going to settle for anything less than my lip brand being as great as a Kylie Jenner or as great as a Huda or whatever. I'm no different from them.
Nope.
I am no different from them. You may have a few more followers than me and a little bit more money than me, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's having unwavering faith in whatever that thing is, and that's what's going to hold you down, because there of course there's going to be hard times.
Yeah.
Life is going to happen,
A
but at the
pandemic.
end of right. But at the end of the day, it's about up here, and it's about what's going on up here.
Yeah.
So
That's true. A lot of people say that it's the mentality that if it's all in your mind, if you have blocks, you have to figure out what it is that your thoughts that you're having that are blocking you from, seeing your blessings, let alone going towards your blessings as well.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, for sure.
So now, looking back at your entrepreneurial journey, how would you say those experiences have impacted the boss you are today? Like, how has it built you to become the woman we see before us now?
Because I
On
want to
your
make
on
sure I
your
answer it the right way.
Yeah, of course. So on your entrepreneurial journey, how would you say, you've been grinding. How would you say that's built you up specifically, like an impact to the
Well,
boss you are today?
to piggyback off of what I just said, like I feel like it's made me even more resilient and made me even more of a go-getter. Like all of just everything. Like
Yeah.
I slept in my car for 43 days because I wanted to when I tell you I so desperately wanted to put out season 2 of Petties and Mimosas, and there was nobody helping me. There was nobody investing in me. Everybody that I asked for money for, nobody had money, or nobody, if they had money, they didn't want to give me money. So I'm like, look, I am going to have to take matters in my own hands. And those 43 days that I slept in my car, it was from January 25th to about March 10th, March 8th, 9th, or 10th, whatever 43 days is after January 25th, 2019. I slept in my
Wow.
car, and it was the hardest decision that I for Pete's sake, there's no roof over. I gave up a roof over my head because it wasn't cutting it. The Uber income was not cutting it. Season one of Petties and Mimosas, I was able to pull off on an Uber income. I still don't know how the hell I did that.
Yeah.
And then the production kind of took on a life of its own. And I'm like, I cannot do what I want to do with an Uber income and paying $1,700 rent. And then I had stopped doing Airbnb because it got unsafe.
Yeah.
A whole nother conversation. So
Oh yeah.
it's like those 43 days, when you talk about journey and when you talk about how has it built me for today, those 43 days have made the difference. Like it made me, that's why when the pandemic came, I'm like, I slept in my car for there's some people that slept in their car for years. Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, they've all like made huge sacrifices to get where they are today. So when I look at how as a woman, and I didn't even tell anybody. I told maybe 4 or 5 people, 3 of which were in New York, and because I didn't want anybody to talk me out of it. Because you know how other people's energies you got to be careful. You have to monitor. What's her name said this the other day in an interview? Naomi Cowan. She said you have to manage the voices around you. So I managed those voices around me very well. I'm like, I'm not telling this person, that person, because they're going to tell me do this, do that. And that's going to rub off on me. So I'm not going to allow that. So sleeping in my car is where I found my power. I realized that, again, maybe that's the reason why I have a mindset where like, it's going to get done.
Yeah.
Things are going to pop off. Things are going to be great. I am successful. Like every day I do affirmations. I'm just those 43 days, girl.
Yeah.
You want to talk about? Yes, the resilience and the like the courage. Just being resilient and courageous. Definitely, what you see in front of you today is a reflection and a result of having sacrificed a lot.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is a
and those
lot.
43 days, yeah. I know a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do that. And driving Uber with strangers in the car, in the same car that I was sleeping in. That's why I didn't sleep in the back seat. I slept in the front seat. My ankles were like
Oh
super
no.
swollen. Girl, the only time that I rented out a hotel twice, maybe 3 times, because that got expensive in itself. When it was like, that womanly time of the month, like I was like, I can't sleep in this damn car. I was taking showers at Planet Fitness
Yeah.
because it was 24 hours sleeping in the Planet Fitness parking lot. Listen, so who you see today, those 43 days in particular was just life changing.
Yeah. Wow. That is a sacrifice, because I know a roof over my head is like my necessity. I don't
Right.
know if I'm like I want it, but it's like that's a lot. And a lot of people, they don't know the backstory. They just see the success that we see on Instagram. And so then when you're hearing these stories and you're hearing what people have gone through to get to where they are, then you're like, maybe I can't do
Right.
this. Maybe entrepreneurship is not for me.
It's not for everybody. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not at all. But I made that sacrifice because I just knew that something had to give. And even how I even came about, the plan wasn't to sleep in my car. The
Yeah.
plan was to stay at a friend, and the friend never called me back. And then I asked another friend, and she didn't answer me. And then I felt so rejected that I didn't have any more energy within me for another rejection, for another friend to say no. And that whole year prior, how even that came about, I had been praying. I'm like, God, please, something got to give. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. On Thanksgiving of 2018, there was a flood in my apartment, a flood up to my like ankles flood. And the landlord literally dragged his feet. It took 60 days for him to come in and act. So look, I said, this may be the out that I'm looking for. I wasn't on a lease. I had lived there 7 years. I wasn't on a lease. I was on a month to month. There was no obligation to stay. I only have a dog. I knew where I was going to drop Bella off at, my dog. I didn't have a boyfriend. There was nobody that was obligated to no one. So I was like, I feel like this is what I've been asking for. Sometimes when you pray, the blessing may not come in this sparkly package with this beautiful bow on it, but it may be exactly what you need to catapult you to that next level. Because had I not gotten that flood, and had they never fixed it. To this day, they ripped up the ceiling, ripped up the ground, left half of my apartment unlivable. half of it, and still wanted me to pay rent. I was like, are you crazy? So I said to myself, I was like, this is the out. This is it. I just knew in my spirit that it was the out. So that's when I called up the friend that literally lived down the block that I knew since my childhood from the Bronx. It wasn't like a friend that I met, in LA. It was a friend that I've known. So I was like, I just knew my mom knows her, my mom knows her family, all that. I just knew she was gonna take me in. But I'm glad it happened the way that it did.
Yeah, because now you're on the other side.
Yeah.
No more 43 days in a car. On that note, we're going to take a really quick break, and when we're back, we're going to continue chatting it up with Shannon Mack. Stay tuned.
What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic.
And welcome back to the Chat Up Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloidi, and you just saw a quick ad, and it's going to be what's going to happen on Saturday, July 31st, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Jamaican Canadian Center at 995 Arrow Road. Remember, this is Emancipation Weekend, and it is a health and wellness clinic where you can receive your first and second doses of the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, get blood pressure test, blood glucose test, COVID testing, and more COVID-19 information as well. So make sure you come out July 31st, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 995 Arrow Road. And we will be doing live coverage from the event. So if you can't make it out for whatever reason, make sure you tune into the GBKM network or come by and stop by and say hello to us at our media booth as well. So check it out again, July 31st at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 995 Arrow Road. Now today we are chatting with CEO, founder of Smack Cosmetics, Pretty Smack Cosmetics, Shannon Mack, who's joining us live from New York right now. Now we've been chatting with Shannon about, your entrepreneurial journey, which honestly, the resilience that you have displayed to get to where you are today is inspirational. I don't know how you do it, girl.
Sometimes I don't know either.
You have stayed booked, busy, blessed, all of that stuff this whole pandemic. How have you been managed to juggle all the balls in the air?
There's a ball still stuck up in the air right now. There's a ball around you have to take care of your kid no matter what. No matter what. So Pretty Smack, Mac Tails and Mimosas, Quarantini and Mimosas, Smacker. These are my kids. These are my children.
It's beautiful. Queen Mother.
Yes, baby girl.
So coming into the beauty industry, you know, there's a lot of, it's a oversaturated industry, to tell you the truth. We can't lie about that. What did you want to do to make sure that Pretty Smack stood out and stayed true to who you are and stayed true to your brand?
That's exactly what I did. I wanted to make sure that it was true to me. You know, Pretty Smack is Pretty Shannon Mack. I don't know if you realize that Smack is okay. So
We caught on.
So everything is literally a reflection of like how I feel, how I just made it me. Just like if you look at the same thing with Kylie Jenner, that's her. You know what I mean? Like it's people, I realize that people buy into you before they buy into your product. So I feel like all of the, you know, times that I go live and I build rapport with my followers and, you know, talk life into them and just be inspirational, like they buy into me first and then they turn, this could be a trash product, which is not, but it could be. But people are still buying it because they like me, you know, because they can connect with me. So I just try to make sure that I'm always being the genuine, you know, humble, just honest, straightforward, inspirational, motivational person that I know God made me to be, and everything else falls into place, you know? So I just wanted to make sure that as far as like aesthetics, like the color, like just everything just popped. You know, just everything just, it's like eye catching. Like if you saw this on a shelf, like you would want to go and like, it would catch your eye, you know? You would want to go and pick it up. It's not boring. It's just, it's full of life. It's vibrant. It's me. You know?
And it's still sleek and classy with the matte as well, too.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then it has the lips on it. Everybody always thinks that the lips in the Smack Urban Radio logo is my lips. It's really not. Actually, the person that made that logo was so crazy. I don't even know him. I never met him. It was a connection through somebody else. And it's crazy. I was like, how could this man even create this logo and it just embody who I am? And it's just, and that's how I know, like, it's alignment, like it was supposed to be, you know what I mean? So I just always want to make sure that every single thing that I'm doing is just a representation of who I truly am. Because people see through that, you know?
Yes, they do. And as you said, even if it's not a trash product, but even if it were, you know, there are a lot of celebrities who put stuff out that is not up to par. Shade. But because of the, like they're a public figure and the fact that people know them and like them, they're willing to fork over hundreds of dollars for something that isn't up to par. But it's because this person is selling it to you. You're like, yeah, I like that. I'm going to buy from them. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
for real, if you can tug on people's like how people feel about themselves or like just feelings in general, people's emotions, sky's the limit.
How do you feel when you wear your Pretty Smack?
Oh my God. I think it probably hits different for me than it does for other people because I'm the actual creator. I think I have done a good job, and I don't know if this is a good thing, but I think I've done a good job with downplaying every single thing that I do, including this. Like sometimes I'm like, it's every once in a while I'm like, yo, I launched a whole makeup, a whole lip line by myself with my own money. No investors, no handouts, no big ads, no nothing. But I think I downplay it a lot. So the moments that I do get to like put on the lipstick and say like, yo, you did that. I have to like really embrace that, you know? But when I put on Pretty Smack, like I feel super empowered. Like just so empowered, like, yo, you are that, you know, like you are that boss, you know, like keep doing great things. You are great. It makes me want to chant and say my affirmations over and over and over. And that's the reason why all of the colors are named after words that describe women positively. Like this color that I have in my hand is voluptuous. So I want women to put on this red lipstick and just feel like, the lips are voluptuous, the everything is voluptuous, just voluptuous, big energy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but for me, as the creator of this, like as like the person behind this, like it hits different. When I put it on, I'm like, wow, you did that.
Yeah.
You
Because
did
that's your
that.
baby at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
What shade are you wearing right now? That's a pretty smack as well?
So I did an ombre on my lips
Okay.
for this one. So it's enticing, which is the darker, it's like a plum, like a plummy color. And then hottie, which is the hot pink, which is in the middle.
It's that hot pink that I'm looking at, and I'm like, girl, yeah. Off those lips, yeah.
That it doesn't come off on anything. Like you be sitting here, I'm trying to look for a glass right now. You can kiss your man or your woman, whatever, or drink a whole glass of alcohol and or just water. It doesn't have
Just
to be
water,
alcohol.
whatever floats your boat.
But whatever floats your boat, right? And it will literally be on your lips
Yeah.
for the whole day
Wow, no transfer. That's another thing
at all.
for those who
And
are
it
looking
doesn't.
for
And I
lipstick.
usually don't even like matte. Matte, this doesn't dry out your lips at all. Sometimes I forget it's on my lips, and people tell me that all the time. Like it does not dry my. I've been getting nothing but great reviews.
Yeah, of course. But that's
Right?
another question is, deciding if you want to go with the gloss or the matte. That's a whole other process as well because it's different recipes, right, for the lipstick to create the finish. So why
Right.
did you decide on matte for the initial launch?
Well, I just love the way matte looked on my lip. I just love the way because the company they sent me all these different things and he's like you can choose and you can see what formulas that you want to mess with and see if we can do something different or just they just sent me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking and I'm putting it on. I was like we can add this and we can add that to make it my own or whatever. But I had lipstick, I had regular lipstick, I had matte, I had lip gloss, I had so many other but the matte, ooh, the matte. It's just something about the matte that just like set me off and I was like, yo, I'm putting out matte first.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Now,
Thank you.
segue into, you mentioned alcohol, so I want to bring up mocktails and mimosas. How did that come to be?
The pen. You have every single thing that you need to get to the next level. You do not, this chapter, you closed it when you left LA. You do not need to do this. So, because I'm always preaching this to people, I'm always saying to people, you have every single thing that you need to get you to the next level. You don't need to do anything extra. You don't need to spend any extra money. It may not be you may not have everything you need for the big goal, but you have everything you need to get to the next level. So I thought about everything that I had. And I'm like, I have a whole entire show, Petties and Mimosas. I have a sponsor that pours into me, that has no problem like sponsoring things that I do. Like, what am I doing out here doing Postmates again? This is crazy. So I just thought and I thought and I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my God, maybe. And then the rest is history. Here comes Mac Tails and Mimosas.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, watching right now,
Incredible.
Mocktails and Mimosas is a segment, would you call it?
So, okay, so Mocktails and Mimosas is a cocktail recipe show, but with a spin on my name, Cocktail
Yes.
Mocktail Shannon Mac. So Mocktails and Mimosas is that's what it is. So I'm making drinks in under a minute, like easy drinks that you can do in the comfort of your own
yeah.
home and in the comfort of your own kitchen or whatever. So, so yeah. People are definitely receiving, the way it's like packaged now. It's completely different. The whole vibe. It's more like catered to like that TikToker or the TikTok people or that type of an audience. So it's doing very, very well. But can I tell you a story real quick? So, and this is how Mac Tails and Mimosas came about. So when I was looking for initially, when I didn't have any sponsors for Petties and Mimosas, I was looking for just a champagne or a sparkling wine sponsor to, so we can use to make the mimosas
Yeah,
on the show,
yeah.
right? So I'll never forget a full week. I was on my computer. I did not leave the room. I had rented a room after that whole homeless bout. I rented a room and was in that room for like weeks on the computer, just searching and searching and searching. So I ended up finding Schlumberger sparkling wine, right? So I found their contact information and I sent them over a proposal if they would want to sponsor Petties and Mimosas and be, sparkling wine that we make on the show for the mimosas or whatever. So they got back to me and I remember I sent out this proposal to them in May. And they got back to me in like April or May, and they got back to me like the end of the summer, like August, around August, and they jumped on board for Petties and Mimosas, the New York version, because I had did a couple of shows in shooting out here in New York. They jumped on September 2018, right? So long story Mimosas just it made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense on how it came about.
And it makes sense even like to your brand as well.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that like you notice even just everything has you in it. You cannot mistake it. You know that this is a Shannon Mac production. This is a Shannon Mac project. This is a Shannon Mac product. Can't
I love
can't
it.
ever forget it.
Absolutely. And that's another thing too. Like people, like if you want to start a business, don't just start a business, build a brand. So if one thing, falls apart today, you have all these other parts of the
Yeah.
brand that'll hold it up, so you have all these other streams of income,
Yeah.
which equal a brand.
Yep. You hear that all the time, always from all entrepreneurs. It's like have multiple streams of income. Just it's building your brand, it's building up who your identity as well within the community or at large. And it's helping for brand recognition too. Because now I know if I see
Absolutely.
Mac anywhere, my first thought is going to go straight to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who comes up with these recipes? They're so much fun. I tried one. I'm not talking about it because
You
I was a little
did?
heavy-handed. I did. I can't even remember I think it was like the island rum.
The island rum twist?
Yes. Let me tell you, Miss Mac, it was delicious. But yeah, I'm glad I'm here today. But
You, you was lit.
it
You
was
in other
lit.
words.
It was
Yeah,
lit.
those drinks are strong. I have to send a big shout out to Shakita. Shakita is my assistant slash friend, or she's my friend slash assistant. Sometimes I'm so hesitant on like bringing her on board because I'm like, she's my friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with my friend, but she's so good with like assisting me and making sure like every single I is dotted and
Yeah.
every single T is crossed. And she is the one, even though we get the recipes from Marusia directly, she chooses them. She picks
Yeah.
out, this one and that one, and she adds the garnish and she just finishes the drink. She puts this like glaze over it and she puts this polish on the whole project. You never see her because she's behind the scenes or whatever, but she picks out the majority of these amazing recipes that the company sends us.
Wow, they are amazing. And if you are looking for a recipe for this weekend, because it's a long weekend here in Toronto, get you some mocktails and mimosas, okay? Trust
Okay.
me when I tell you, they get the job done. They do what they need to do,
I love to
okay?
hear that.
So before we let you go, just to quickly round up, what is some advice you may have to, younger entrepreneurs or folks who are just starting out on their entrepreneurial journey on staying motivated and staying the course and just focusing on what it is they're doing?
The first thing that pops into my mind is don't listen to people when they tell you that EFG are related to
Plan A.
you. Absolutely. But hone in on one thing that you are really, really good at. I'm really good at hosting.
Yeah.
So hosting is my thing and everything else just fell into place. You feel what I'm saying? So find that one thing that can't nobody tell you that you are not the boss at. And go in. Make it your, you know the word.
I know what you mean.
Yo.
Make it
Like,
your
go-
baby.
Yes, make it your baby. We're
Yes.
gonna keep it PC. But yes, make it your baby and go in on this dream. Go in, and don't take no for an answer from anybody. And if people do tell you no, create your own space, create your own lane, do your own thing. Because it's out here, it's a DIY world.
Yep.
Do it yourself. So and nothing is impossible. Like I said in the beginning of this interview, to manage the voices that are around you, that's super important, because I feel like had I known what that even meant years ago, maybe I'd be further along in my career, because I feel like I let a lot of people and a lot of like different energies control the way I felt about what I was doing years ago, not now, years ago. Like I focused a lot on not getting support. Like I focused a lot on the naysayers. I focused a lot on that, and that takes a lot of energy away from you, a lot. you know? So if you can manage, and it was a lot of people that was supposed to be my friends, you know? So manage the voices around you
Yeah.
and know that whatever it is that you are doing, like you have a place in this world, like you have a space where you can dominate this one space. Stay, and I feel like that's the reason why another reason too why I feel like I've had a lot of success, because I know my lane. I don't try to be anybody else. I don't try to step on nobody else's toes. I'm not trying to. I don't want to be. It's already a lot being me, you know. So I'm not trying to be anybody else, you know. So find your lane, play it very well,
Yeah.
stay in it, have faith, and just really like find one thing and just, you know, make it your baby, and do whatever it is that you have to do to nurture, raise, like, just, you know, you get what I mean,
I
right?
get what you mean. Grow, develop, all of
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Had a brain fart there, but yes.
Yes. So also how can people keep in touch with you to see what, because I'm sure you got a lot more coming up next. I can't wait to see
I
what you got
do.
next.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for joining us on the Chat Up Show today. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
And
for having me. I appreciate
yes,
you. And you keep up the great work too. You are a great host as well.
thank you. Thank you. I'm
You
trying to get
are.
like you.
Aw, you are doing the damn thing, honey. Keep it
Thank
up.
you.
Keep it up. And anytime you want me to come back, I will
Of
be more than
course.
happy to do so.
Always. We will always have you back. Such a
Awesome.
pleasure. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And with that, that concludes the Chat Up Show for today. As you know, you can keep up with the GBCAM network 24/7 at www.gbcam.fm or www.gbcam.tv, where you can watch or listen live. You can catch up on past shows. You guys know the drill. And make sure you download our free GBCAM app so you get all the features that are on our web station on the app, and you will be notified every time you go live, so you will not miss another show. Make sure you continue to support us on Facebook and YouTube at GBCAM Network, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GBCAM Network to get updates on what's going on right here at the, you guessed it, the GBCAM Network. You can follow me, your host, on Instagram and Twitter at TIS_Liz_O, where you can also get some more updates about what's going on the Chat Up Show. And with that, I will see you the same time, same place next week. Take care.